morning, students. Welcome back to you all in English lecture. So, dear students, these topics are very interesting and very easy to understand. So, first we are going to learn the new topic of grammar, that is homophones. Now, do you know what is homophone? Homophones means what, students? Yes, that sound the same but have different meanings and usually different spelling. I repeat, homophones are words that sound the same but they have different meanings and usually different spellings. For example, write and right. Now WRITE, right, and RIGHT, right. These two spellings are different. They have two different meanings, but their pronunciation, it sounds same. It sounds similar. That's why it's known as homophones. Next, let's take the example of 8. EIGHT. It is a number 8. ATE, 8. That's a different thing. 8. I ate an apple. So these two different words are there which different meanings, different spellings, but they have one thing common, which they sound the same. Now let's see this topic, homophones, with the help of more examples. Yes, students, now the more examples of homophones are given here. Right, this example already I have told you all. Then next is father and father. Father, FARTHER and FATHER. So these two different spellings are there, two different meaning, but their sound is same. They sound similar. That's why they are known as homophones. See, the examples are also given here. We decided not to go any farther. And the next, I love my father. So these two different spellings, two different meanings, but they are having sound similar. That's why they are said to be homophones. Next is meet and meet. M-E-E-T and M-E-A-T. M-E-E-T. So maybe we will meet again sometime. And MEAT, I gave up eating meat a few months ago. So these two different spellings, two different meanings, but they are having the sound similar. That's why they are known as homophones. So homophones means what? Two different words, they are having two different spellings, two different meanings, but the sound is similar. Flour and flour, FLOUR, flour. So, sift this flour and salt into a bowl. Flour means maida. Okay, maida. We say in Hindi, maida. It's known as flour. Whereas flower, FLOWER. So, what a beautiful flowers. So, these two different spellings, but their sound is similar. For. Okay, for. So, FOUR, that is number. FOR, that is preposition. Okay, two different words, two different meanings, but they are having sound similar. Pear, PAIR, pear, and PEAR. PEAR is a fruit, is the name of a fruit. Whereas pear means the number of 2 is known as pair. Okay, so these are the examples of homophones. I hope, students, let's proceed towards the next topic. I hope you have understood the concept of homophones. Now we'll study the new topic, that is prefixes and suffixes. So dear students, this topic already you have learnt in standard 6. Now this year also let us try to understand what is the concept of prefix and suffixes. So are you ready for that? Very good. Now, dear students, what do you mean by prefixes? Prefixes. Prefixes means what? Yes? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of prefixes? Yes, very good. These grammar topic already you have learnt last year. You have learnt already this topic in previous year. Now prefixes means what? Yes, it is a word part added in front of a base word to change the meaning. Prefix means the words are added before the word which change the meaning of the word. I repeat again, what is the meaning of prefixes? Prefixes is a word, that part which is added in front of a base word to change the meaning. Pre means before, okay? So the words are added before the word. For example, here prefix, meaning and example. 3 columns are given. So let us try to understand these prefixes with the help of more examples. Re is a prefix. So meaning is given again. So this is a word again. So if we add prefix, if we add before the word re, it becomes re again. Re again. So re again, it forms the another word. It changes the meaning of the word. Next, example is also given, rewrite. Rewrite. Okay, kind is there. Okay, so if I add prefix unkind, so it changes the meaning of the word. It forms a new word, right? Made, pre-made. Made is a different word. When I added prefix before the word in front of the base word, so it changed the meaning of the word. It forms a new word, that is pre-made. So dishonest. Honest is a word. If I added dishonest, it changed the meaning of the word. Impolite. Impolite is a word. If I added prefix impolite. Another example, possible. So impossible. If possible is a different word, if I added prefix, when should be added prefix? Yes, in front of a base word. So it changes the meaning of the word. That is impossible. Impolite. It changes the meaning of the word. It forms a new word. Nonsense. So sense is a word. If I added non, it becomes nonsense. So it changed the meaning of the word. Miss. Now miss means meaning of miss is wrong or bad. So misbehavior. Miss means what? Misbehavior. Mischievous, misbehavior. Behavior is a word. If I added prefix, it becomes misbehavior. It completely changed the meaning of the word. Also, it forms a new word. So, dear students, I hope you have understood the concept of prefixes. How to add prefixes. When to add prefix? Before the word. In front of a base word. To change the meaning of the word. Now, let's proceed towards the suffixes. Yes, students, what do you mean by suffix? Suffix means what? So, opposite of prefix is suffix. So, a suffix is added to the word end of a base word. When prefix is added in front of a base word to change the meaning. And when suffix is added, it is added to the end of a base word. So, in simple words, prefixes are added before the word, whereas suffixes are added after the word. A suffix changes the meaning of a word. Let's see the example. Full means full of. So, if I have given the word color, so you can add colorful. Colorful means full of color. So, it completely changed the meaning of a word. Color, colorful. Less. Less means without. What is the meaning of less? Less is a suffix and its meaning is without. So if I have given the word care, you can add after it careless. It changed the meaning of the word. Careless means without care. Next is er. Er means more. Er is a suffix which means more. So if I have given the example fast, you can change the meaning of the word fast by adding suffixes. What? Faster. Faster means more fast. Clear, students? Understood the concept of suffixes? Now students, let's continue with the topic figures of speech. So these topic figures of speech you've learnt yesterday also. Okay, so yesterday you learnt 3 figures of speech. Which are they? Alliteration, simile and metaphor. So these 3 figures of speech you learnt yesterday. They are metaphor, simile and alliteration. Now today's lecture. So in today's lecture you are going to learn 2 more figures of speech. They are personification and antithesis. Now first we'll learn what is personification. First we'll learn what is personification. So personification means giving human qualities to animals or objects. I repeat, personification means giving human qualities, okay, to animals or objects. In simple words, personification means the non-living objects or non-living things are given the human qualities. Now here is an example given. The stars winked at me. So the stars, they are non-living objects. They are objects. So they winked at me. The human quality of winged is given to non-living thing, which is that stars. That's why it is known as personification. Now let's understand the concept of personification with the help of more examples. Yes, here is another example of personification. The leaves danced their way through the lawn. Now, the leaves are given the human quality of dance. Okay, so only human beings, only living things can dance. Am I right? So, the non living things or objects are given the human quality, and that's why it is said to be personification. Now, the second example, the wind whistled throughout the day. The wind is an object, okay, it is a non-living things, non-living object, but the human quality is given whistled. Okay, so the whistled quality is of human quality, and the human quality is given to non-living thing, which is that wind is an object. Okay, so here this example is also said to be personification, because non-living objects are given the human quality, or the non-living objects, okay, are given the quality of the living things. Clear, students? Now let's see the another example. The slices of bread jumped out of the toaster, suddenly scaring me. The slices of bread, okay, the slices of bread, these are non-living objects, jumped out. So the jumped out, this quality is given to non-living object, jumped out of the toaster. The slices of bread jumped out of the toaster, suddenly scaring me. So do the slices of bread jump? No, it's not real, but just the human quality is given to the non-living objects. and that's why it is said to be personification. Now here, which human quality is given here to non-living object? Yes, non-living objects are slices of bread, and the human quality is given of jumping. Okay, that's why it is said to be personification. Now next example. The moon was resting in the midnight sky. Now the moon, it's also an non-living object. Moon is also an object. So moon is given the human quality of resting, and that's why it is said to be personification. Okay, because the moon is given the human quality of resting, and moon is non-living object. That's why it is said to be personification. So dear students, I hope you have understood the concept of figures of speech personification. Now let's proceed towards the next one. Students, now the next one is antithesis. Okay, so what is antithesis? Let's see the definition of antithesis. So students, antithesis means, it is a literal meaning opposite, is a rhetorical device in which two opposite ideas are put together in a sentence to achieve a contrasting effect. So antithesis means what? Two opposite ideas are placed side by in a sentence. Now let us understand the concept of antithesis with the help of the example. See students, in simple words, the definition of antithesis means, in a sentence there are opposite words or opposite ideas placed side by side. So here the example is given: too black for heaven, yet too white for hell. So dear students, black and white, these two are opposite words. Also, heaven and hell, these two are opposite words. So this sentence is known as, which figure of speech is here? Antithesis. Why? Because the opposite ideas, the opposite words are placed side by side. Let us see the another example. Yes, now here is another example. Man proposes, God disposes. Proposes and disposes, these both are opposite words, so it is said to be antithesis. Clear students? Antithesis means what? The opposite words, the opposite ideas are placed side by. Clear? So students, I hope you have understood these two figures of speech, antithesis and personification, very well. Now we'll see you in the next lecture. Till that, stay connected, stay safe.